Good afternoon, dear parents. It is so nice to meet you, though it is online, but I'm very happy to see all of you today, that you found time in the middle of the day to spend 1 hour with us as we start our first training webinar for the parents. And there are going to be several of them during the academic year. And I would like to also to mention that we invited the parents of the homeschool department too for that webinar. So Mrs. Julie explained the diagnostic test procedure of our school, the beginning of the program when the child starts, when you decided that the child is going to continue with our school and you enroll that child to our school. So after we determine his performance level, and after we are ready to start giving the subject to the student, the child receives the main tool. The child receives the booklet. So many of you, when you meet with Ms. Julie the first time, so you she introduces those little booklets to you, and you actually hold them in your hand. So I would like also to ask you, this is mainly the homeschoolers, for homeschoolers, that you have some pieces with you. You may take it and you may look at them, but for our campus parents, you have no possibility, because the pieces are with your students at the school. But anyway, you will be able to understand how that booklet, it's not just a big book, it's a booklet, helps to gain the knowledge of the School of Tomorrow technique, of the School of Tomorrow procedures. So the pace work. You can see on the pictures how this pace work appears in our school. So that every child has its own office, every child has the place, and every child has a possibility to work individually with the teacher. So that happens with the PACE, which is the abbreviation of the Packet of Accelerated Christian Education. And beside that, if you know the meaning of the word PACE, which means one step. So the child is learning by little steps. Originally and historically, Mr. Howard took the thick book of different subjects and divided that textbook into parts. He divided it into 12 parts. So every subject for the year takes 12 paces, 12 booklets. So for us, when you hear the word pace, it's the synonym to the word textbook, including within practice book. We study in our school 5 main subjects. This is math, English, science, social studies, and word building. From grade 1 up to grade 8, the students are learning the subjects which are called that way. Only starting as of high school, math becomes algebra, geometry, trigonometry, pre-calculus. There are 4 steps or 4 levels of English the child is learning. Science turns into biology, chemistry, physics. Social studies turns into civics, history of the world, American history. And word building turns into the etymology. But the first 8 years, the child learns only 5 subjects, 5 paces. Beside those paces, I would like also you to know that we have some electives, and we prescribe those electives according to the diagnostic test to students who might be ahead of level. Because as you know already that our system is individualized and we're allowing the child to move his own speed, though we control that speed. And we make sure that the child is ready to start a certain level. So this is the introduction that you would see the variety of those paces. And again, on that slide, not all the paces we offer in general. I would like to start with the structure of the pace. The pace consists basically the main things in the pace. This is the first page where you can see all the goals of the pace. Then the pace is divided into 3 parts of checkups. This is the mini tests inside of the pace. The next one is the self-test, that the student is supposed to master whatever he learned in the pace, showing that he is ready to finish one certain topics of the pace. And then the child finishes the topic with the pace test. So this is just the structure, the main structure. And of course, not only these pages the child sees in this booklet. I would like to start with the first page of the pace, because it's very, very important. On the first page, you as a parent also, if you're interested, and it would be really nice that you will be interested in it, that we introduce it to you, because we are asking for your help of control at home for the child. So on the first page, the student starts with knowing what he's going to study in a certain booklet. So they read goals, and you can see the final destination of the child by the end of the pace. So what the student's supposed to know in math, in English, science, and all those subjects. Then you may see the character trait, which is the part of the system. And we are training the child to gain those character traits. We are raising them into people we would like them to see when they grow up. The character trait connects with the Bible verse. And you see down there, there is a Bible verse. I opened just gradually. So this is the Bible verse that connects with the character trait. And the child has to memorize that Bible verse by the end of the pace. I also tell the parents that together with them trying to have that character trait, the child learns English, because he adds before it was 60 character traits, now there are 90 character traits, so he adds about 90 new words, new adjectives, or new nouns to his vocabulary. And the very last part of each first page of the pace, again, this is the description of the character trait. This is a little comics, and with information about the sounds, which helps the student to understand and to be able to read the new words. So this is the structure of the first page. So that the child, before he starts doing the pace, he has to read it out loud to the supervisor. He has to understand what he is learning, and he has to master those goals by the end of the pace. What do we start with the pace at the very beginning, after he knows that he's going to study this or that? This is the vocabulary. And we pay a big attention to the vocabulary, that the student will be able to learn the subjects in English, because for many of the students, English is not the native language. And to be able to study subjects in English, so you have to have terms, you have to know the terms and vocabulary of a certain subject. So we are mastering that vocabulary before they move to texts, before they move to exercises. we're asking the students to memorize the new words. For the levels 1 to 4, we basically do not recommend to translate these words. You may see on the first page from the page that most of the words, they have pictures, and the child understand the meaning of the word with the help of the picture. A bit later, grades 5 and up, some of the terms, of course, are not introduced in the pictures. It's not even possible. And we're asking to translate the terms into their native language and memorize the meanings of those terms. In the pace of English, there are some pages where the students are learning how to create the new words with the help of suffixes and prefixes. And these pages are also very, very important. So vocabulary is number 1 when the child starts learning the pace. And this is basically in all 5 subjects. Even in math, you will see the vocabulary. After they memorize the vocabulary, they are ready to read texts. And we are asking and we explaining you and telling you that the child should master reading and comprehension of the text. It is not a surprise that we have some students who may read in English, but they may not understand what they are reading. So this is again, the beginning is vocabulary. So they have to understand the words. But we are trying to train kids of grade 1 to 4 level to read the text at least 3 times. That at the first time, the child understands the general topic of the text. For the second time, we're asking to go into details, and maybe he can find some other words beside the vocabulary one, which he doesn't understand. And the third time, the child already read the text with an all detailed understanding of this topic. And only after he mastered that, he can do the exercise after text. And what is very important, that this exercise, it would be really good that the child is doing without looking into the text. I really want to attract your attention to this procedure, because most of our younger students, they are so happy doing those paces. They're just without reading, without understanding. They're looking into the text. They're finding the same sentences as in exercises, and they're copying the words into the exercise. Without gaining the knowledge, without gaining the material. So that is why when your child is doing the homework and in half an hour he's telling you, I'm done, it's not really true, because it means that he didn't read, he didn't follow the technique, he didn't follow the right procedure of working with the pace. So after he finished the text, and as I said, that the structure of the page, the checkup, they're supposed to be controlled. And this control happens with the help of the checkup. Each page has 3 checkups, and the child is supposed to answer all the questions orally. The child is not allowed to write or do this checkup without supervisor's permission, without having the supervisor's signature by the word of the checkup. And the student is should be able to answer questions which might be reworded from the original sentence in the checkup. They should be able to memorize the whole sentence, not just that one word which they have to put into the sentence. That is why this is another kind of hint for you, that if the child has a homework to get ready for the checkup, it doesn't mean that they have nothing to do. They have to master the checkup. They have to be able to retell it and to understand. Because what is checkup? Checkup is a summary of the previous material that the child learned in the PACE. The checkup of science and social studies might contain the word checkup. So again, checking the vocabulary. After the child finishes the checkups and he comes closer to the end, or basically to the end of the pace, he meets the self-test. Self-test, basically this is the same thing as the checkup, but it's a summary for the whole PACE material. And before the child finishes the PACE, he has to master the result of the self-test not lower than 88%. So we grade our students with percentage. So there's 100 is the highest. And if the child finishes or does the self-test within lower than 88, it means that he is not ready for the test. It's better to review some gaps or review some topics, or there is still something that he doesn't understand even, and he needs to learn. So for all of these, definitely he asks help within teacher, not you parents. So for you just to know how it happens, what we are asking from the child. So this is just the information for you. So when the child is ready, so we know he has 100 in the self-test. So the next day, he's introduced of the PACE test. And the passing score is 88 for grade 1 and 4, and 80% for grade 5 and 12. So if the child shows a lower result, he is getting the same number of the PACE again, and he has to repeat the whole PACE over. A little bit more information about the English PACE, that because in the English PACE, there are no texts like in science and social studies. And for sure that before doing exercises, the student's supposed to memorize the rules of English. That is why the homework might be just to study the rules of English. And the child cannot do exercises just looking at the example. So he has to memorize the rules, and only after the rules, he is supposed to do the exercises. He's supposed to do those pages, which you will see in his homework. The PACE, it is very good tool. The kid like and they enjoy doing PACEs. There are some pages that are fun facts. And in any PACE of any subject, you can find some interesting information. So you may find the information in English about science and in about science in English PACE. And they really want you to know and read and make the child not to skip it. So that these fun facts are just for fun. Beside fun facts, there are fun pages, as we may call them. There are crosswords. There are some puzzles, but with these crossword puzzles, they are still learning. They're still just gaining the material. So if you meet these pages in your students' PACEs and you see that he skipped it, you ask and just make them to do. Because most of the time they might give you the explanation, or it's not important page. It is an important page, so they have to complete them. Just a bit more about the character trait in the PACE. And as I already mentioned before, that you meet that character trait on the first page. Then the kids like the comicses which describe a certain character trait, and believe me that the students remember those comics even after they graduate. And this is the first thing what they do when they open the PACE. They start watching those comics and going through the whole PACE. But the character trait you may meet even inside of the PACE. So this is the wisdom phrases which help raise the students. So this thin booklet, it's the main tool that the child learns and through which the child studies in our school. They're all working in paper. So this is just the paper booklet. But again, as we have an electronic diagnostic test, so we already introduced the e-PACE, that electronic PACE. And we are using it mostly now in the campus school just for the tests. So many of the students, they're doing tests on the computer, though they finished the paper booklet. The homeschoolers, some of those who are studying online on a distant department, so they are even working in the e-PACE. So hopefully we will get the whole curriculum soon. No promises when it's going to happen, but we believe that it will happen. So if you have any questions, you may write in the chat. I'll be able to answer your questions, or Ms. Julie about the diagnostic test, because those two procedures, they go together, one after another. And one more time. So the PACE, this is Personal Accountability Character Enhancement Series. And it gives individual approach, and it's self-instructed. It mastered mastery-based learning and goal-setting skills. This is biblically based material and spiritually emphasis, motivational and encouragement, critical thinking, it adds, and its complete academic program from kindergarten through the college level. This is the PACE. This is that small booklet that the kids are studying. So basically that is it from me for you as parents. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Natalie. We'll stop our presentation right now. Okay, Deb, we'll stop our presentation right now. Thank you, Ms. Natalie. Thank you, Mr. Julie. Now, if you could use your chat, okay, to ask questions. Because I see that our chat is still empty. It can mean two things. Either you are having coffee in the kitchen and not in front of your computer, or everything was really self-explanatory, and you really perceived and understood everything that we've been talking about. But still, we will take a few moments. Maybe somebody. So somebody says out of topic, but when are the holiday breaks? Okay, so I can explain.
Okay, our holiday break, so the end of the first quarter is going to be the 29th of October. So this is the last day of the first quarter. You can go to our website, englishschooloftomorrow.ru, and at the part for parents, you can find our calendar. And in that calendar, you can see all the vacations for this academic year. You can see even the other dates for the parents training. And I also would like you to invite for the next session, which is going to happen in 2 weeks. The date we will set a bit later. Because we already got some requests from you parents on some topics that you are really interested in. So that is why today it's just the beginning, and we will try to make it next one in 2 weeks. The other might be in a month. So we just follow your parents' chats, announcements, and you will be able to know the topic of a certain webinar. But if you would like to meet us at school, or you have some personal questions, you're always welcome, of course.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Natalie. It was a long explanation, more than just vacation. Ms. Julie wanted to add something?
No, I just, for your convenience, we will send you the link to our school calendars through your parents' chats.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Julie. And the next question is, do each of the 5 subjects have 12 booklets each? Ms. Natalie?
Yeah, yes. Every subject has 12 books each, and this is for one academic year, if your child on his chronological grade. If your child is behind the level, as we're saying, yeah, he's at his performance grade, he might finish more than 12 books for one academic year.
Okay, thank you very much. So then there was a question: Does preschool, does preschooler, or do preschoolers have paces as well, or it is just begins from grade 1?
Ms. Julie, you may answer.
Yeah, actually, all grades of our school, starting the kindergarten, or we called it group preparation for school, use the same type of materials, which are called paces. So for preschoolers, we have the same paces. They're just marked or numbered a bit differently, and they do not contain any written text, since those students are not able to read yet. But they also work with paces.
All right, Ms. Julie, thank you very much. Yes, so they do have paces. And that's a good question, Ms. Natalie. Probably you can answer this. Can parents control their kids' homework in order to proceed on time?
Yes, definitely. And actually, this is our topic for the next webinar. We will give you more explanation about the homework and how you can control it. So I really don't want to take your time, because this is going to be another session. But yes, we are expecting that from you.
Okay. Okay, that's a good question further on. If John Blake has to do third year maths despite being in year 5, and he does his booklets while with his other 5-year students, who will assist him with his year 3 math?
This is a very interesting question. And we come to the point of the organization of the whole academic process. And since our system is individualized, teachers work with all students individually. And irrespectively of their performance level, the teachers will assist them with their work on their level.
Yes, in other words, I'll just give my rendition on this. So we are trying to assist our students to get on level as soon as possible. But of course, we do it within a reasonable amount of time. And if it is a 2-year gap in between, then of course, it will take some time before the student catches up to his chronological level to be on the academic level as well in paces. All right, I see that our questions. Yes, Ms. Natalie, you can add.
I would like also to add a bit that with the diagnostic test materials, you might also meet during the academic year, not only at the beginning when the child enters the school, because when the child is behind the level, we are using this diagnostic test to move him closer to his chronological age level. So that is why you will be able, to still you will meet that diagnostic test. If the child finishes, like the John Blake finishes grade 3, then we re-diagnose the child, and we are trying to see how he added the material to be able to move closer to his chronological age.
All right, I guess that's great. Mrs. Julie, you got a blessing already, and I hope we can count on your blessing as parents as well. Okay, and we have one more question. Why don't you give kids weekend homework? We are new to your school.
We do give weekend homework. So it depends. It depends on the child. I don't know to whom I'm talking right now. So it may be that your child is on his chronological level. So if he's on his chronological level and he finished all his goals during the week, he has no homework for the weekend. But if he is not, then he will get it.
I may add something. Our system offers the School of Tomorrow system offers a lot of motivational tools for the children. And one of the tools is to allow them to have rest during the weekend if they really worked hard during the whole week. And that's why they may not have homework it means they worked really hard and really well during the whole week. And if the teachers believe that they may go through that weekend without homework, it means everything is okay with your child.
Yeah, I just want to say that you may use the other motivational tool. So you may not allow him to play the phone during the weekdays. And then if he comes without the homework, I mean, with finished goals for the whole week, so it might be the motivational tool, and you can give him 15 minutes during Sunday and Saturday.
Yes, as a matter of fact, thank you, Mr. Julie, Miss Natalie. We would love to reiterate that we believe in balance, we believe in hard work, and we believe in rest. We believe the students have to be motivated by being given like not extra time necessarily, but given the weekend to rest and to do something that they would love to do. But definitely we will watch closely every student's progress to make sure that they are on their level, that they're completing their goals. And you will have good interaction with your teachers to make sure that you understand where they are, especially when they graduate. But I'm sure that we're going to have more trainings and more webinars when we will tackle all those issues. Dear parents, I guess our time is getting closer to an end. And definitely we will take more of your questions. You can still write your questions. We will answer them in writing for you. And this session will be recorded, is being recorded, as you are aware, and we will make it available for all of you to review and to make sure that you have all good understanding.
I can answer the last question.
Okay, Miss Natalie, but just in a couple of words.
Yeah, so there is a question about the books we can recommend kids to read. So I'll ask the supervisors to give you the list of those books that they can read. We have such a list. If you're a homeschool parent, write me personally.
Yeah. Okay, one more time, thank you very much. We would love for you to be blessed, to have a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful evening today. And again, feel free to contact us through any means of communication, WhatsApp, email, telephone, make an appointment with Miss Julie, Miss Natalie to see us as well. We'll be happy to answer your questions because we believe in good interaction. We want to keep the line of communication open. So God bless you, and we'll see you shortly. Goodbye.